I don't like to stand looking over from very tall buildings, like the observation desk at the Empire State Building. I'll take people who've never been to New York up there, but I don't go over there and just, look straight down because I got a phobia.
Yeah.
And now I have a new one. Have you ever been like you're in a new city or city you're not really familiar with, and they used to have somebody when you were in the parking deck who would take your ticket, right? So you save your ticket, you give it to them, then you give them the card or cash or whatever. Well, all of those people have been fired and they've been replaced by automatic systems. And some of them are a little more difficult to understand than others. Some, you put the ticket right up and it beeps and tells you how much and it works okay. There are others where you can't find where to put it, or you put in your card and it rejects it, and then you turn around the card the other way and you go, and then it rejects it again. And now there are 2, 3 people who are behind you. And this is my phobia. I had it happen once and I could not get that damn thing to work. I could not get that arm to go up. I could not get it to pay. And it got to the point there's like 5 to 6 cars behind me. And the motors are revving. At one point, after about 2 minutes of trying to figure it out, I got out of the car and said, "Go to the next lane. Go to the next lane." And I looked completely out of my mind. Completely. And they go to the next lane because there's 2 lanes, and they give you that stare. And I know what the stare is, because if I'm the guy behind the guy who's going, "Get in the next lane," who can't figure out how to get the machine to work, I'm looking at him. And you know what I'm saying? You jackass. Why do you even come to a city? You should just stay out in the woods where you belong when you can't operate something. So the other day, Mary and I were in a city that we were not familiar with, and I'm driving, and I pull up, and I almost start sweating. It's like, am I going to be able to get this one? I've never seen this one before. All right, here we go. What's the voice say? "Oh, that's where I put it." "Yeah. And that's how much?" And there's the card, and there's 2 cars behind me. "Please make it happen. Make it happen." And the arm goes up and off I go. I go through this every time I'm in one of these new parking lots. And I hate it. I hate it. My new phobia. And I don't know how to get rid of it.
Stay home. Just don't go nowhere.
Listen,
Just stay home.
if you really want to be stressed out, so there's a new thing at the airport. You can reserve your parking in advance, which sounds like a thing you shouldn't need to do, except the airport has built exactly enough parking for everyone but you. There's
Right.
exactly enough spaces
There's one
except for you.
Yeah.
And you need somebody to leave, and it's never going to work out for you, right? So you can buy your
Right.
parking in advance at the airport, and there's all these different, there's big remote, not so far away remote, daily east, daily west, hourly north, hourly south. Like there are all these different configurations. So you buy your parking and you pay for it in advance, and you're guaranteed a space, and they send you a QR code. But you better remember which version of east, west, north, south you parked in, because you'll be sitting there, Bob, waving your phone at the reader, and it doesn't open, and you're watching your flight taking off without you because you booked into east and you're sitting at west or whatever. Don't
And there's people
ever,
behind you.
yeah, and they're rolling their eyes. Do not ever, 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 if you have parking lot phobia, pay in advance for
Yeah.
your airport parking. It won't save you anything.
Yeah, I would never do that. I just would never do that. And it's I've been parking in these parking lots. It's not like I'm from the country. I've been doing it for years. But every one of these machines is hating me, and they're all different. Why can't they all be the same? Why can't they be the same?
You know what? If I was behind you and you jumped out of your car and started waving and shouting, "Use the other lane, use the other lane," I would feel like, I hear you, brother. We have all been there. I would not judge you and make fun of you.
Really? Because I just
I
feel
wouldn't.
like I'm the only one who's been there.
No. It's
And
the
everybody
pressure.
else-
It's the pressure behind
It
you. That's the
is.
pressure.
Leave us a talk back. Talk back with the free Bob and Sheri app.
We were just talking about the tasks that people who live together give each other or we take on. And Sheri, just off of Mike, used the most despised phrase in married life. And that phrase is, "What are we having for dinner?" And it sounds just like that. It's not like, "What are we having for dinner?" It's,
Ma-
"What are we having
Max
for
gets that.
dinner?"
Max
It's an
gets that every
accusation.
day.
It's not a request. It's an
Yeah.
accusation.
It is.
I think
and
Lamar
every
gets it
couple-
every day too.
I
Yeah.
do.
Every couple has it, except couples who have a little bit of money in New York City, live in Manhattan, because as Joan Rivers said, nobody in New York cooks. They do takeout or they go out to a restaurant, and that's true. But that's also very expensive. Most of us cannot do that, and will not do that. I hate it so much that I know what I'm going to be going through. She'll say, "What are we going to have for dinner?" And immediately I say, "Do you want me to go out and pick up something?" Like what? We haven't had Thai for a while. I don't feel like that. Would you like me to get a pizza? You eat too much pizza anyway. How about the sports bar? You really like their beef? No, I don't want that beef soup. I don't want that anymore. What would you like? I don't know. You don't know? I'll eat just about Chinese. I'd rather have Thai than Chinese food. I don't want Chinese food. How about ribs? We haven't had ribs in a long time. They get stuck in my teeth, and I don't want to spend all night.
This is Max and Lamar's reality too.
It is.
This-
Now, let me ask you this. Does this seem fair? Because we had this conversation the other day. Carl said, she said, I'm sitting around here, because she's got this leg thing's bothering her, so she can't really move around a lot. She goes, I just feel like I'm just sitting here and I'm just eating and so I got to watch what I eat. I've got to watch what I eat. And I said, okay. She said, so you need to plan the meal. I said, wait a minute. I agree. I will cook whatever you say. I will cook everything. I will do everything. All you have to do is decide what you want and tell me in advance. She goes, well, that's not fair. What? No, wait. I'm going to go pick it up. I'm going to cook it. I'm going to do everything with it. Just tell me what you want. I said, it saves me time, but just like what Bob was talking about, it saves me from mentioning 13 different things that you explained to me that you don't want, but you cannot tell me the one thing you do want. So while you're sitting here, think in your head, what would you like to have? And it doesn't matter to me what it is. I will make it happen. You just tell me.
And if they get
for you to
hangry,
pick. I like
watch
for you
out.
to pick. Yeah,
If they get
pick.
hangry, it's a nightmare. We'll get in the car. She'll finally say, and by the way, I love her so much, and she's a great cook, and blah blah blah. But we'll get into the car, and I say, well, where do you want to go? And she will. This is how it starts out sometimes. This place doesn't really have any good restaurants. I don't know. The top of my head, I can tell you 10, just like that. But of course, she doesn't eat pasta, so there go my top 3. It's just absolutely maddening. I'm glad we have a new sponsor coming on, and this is not an ad. It just happens to work, and it's called Factor. And you know those services where they deliver to your house, and they're very good, and they everything is prepared in advance, but you still have to cut stuff up.
Oh,
mix
you're saying
stuff
meal
up.
kit. Yeah, you're talking
Yeah,
about
a meal kit,
kits. Yeah.
right?
You're
Exactly.
still working.
And
You're still
they're,
working.
they're helpful, but yeah, he's right. There's still work. This is one step beyond that. Everything arrives, you dump it into a bowl, and you microwave it. But it's fresh food, and everything is different every day. So, I mean, that to me, there are certain moments where that would be the only way to go, because there's no work
Listen,
involved.
Mary and Carla are very lucky. Kev cooks breakfast, but if he cooks dinner, he hides spam in it somewhere. So it's like find the spam, which is not as fun a game as it sounds, because there's never a prize. Just the realization that I'm eating spam, which I don't like. But I'll say to him, I'll be like, I'm exhausted. I've worked all day. Like, we'll have a day where, we do the show, we do all this other stuff, and then I'll do a True Weird Stuff with Max. And it's like 6:00, and I've been sitting in my microphone since 7:30. And this is on a Saturday. like this will be a Saturday, you guys, where we'll have worked
Mhm.
straight. Max and I will have worked straight through, and I'll be like, "What do you feel like for dinner? I'm gonna go pick something up," and he'll go, "Anything but Chinese, Italian, or Mexican." Oh, well, there's a really good Himalayan place. There's a really good Himalayan place. It's in a yurt. I can get some goat kebabs and some butter
Yeah,
tea.
right.
How's that sound?